Hi, and welcome to the show. Well, the art scene in McMinnville in the last few months just got a little bit bigger. A lot of you know about that, maybe some of you don't. And today, I have the co-owners of Mecca that are here with me today. And Mecca stands for, Holly?
That's the McMinnville Center for the Arts.
All right. And where'd that name come from, Mick?
Oh, boy. We, the moth story.
Sure.
Oh, good.
We were out in the Goodwill parking lot. It was a hot summer day. It was August. It was about 85 degrees, and this huge white moth came and landed on our windshield. Very odd, and it had black dots on it. And why was that so important to open? Because I was astounded that it was out. And then I had to go home and look up what kind of moth this was. And it's a Mecca, M-E-C-A. Oh, no, we were talking about calling it Mecca, M-E-C-C-A.
Right.
Yeah. So I looked it up, and there was this moth, and it just made sense, and it became our logo.
And it's a Meca Australis, and the Meca Australis is Latin for, Mecca is center. It stands for center or hub, and Australis is star, so the center star. And so we decided that was perfect. And we were originally going to be McMinnville Event Center for the Arts.
Uh-huh.
And so everybody asks us the question,
What's the E?
what's the E? I know, it was on your mind, wasn't it?
I wasn't going to.
Everybody
That makes
asks.
sense because you still, I mean, whether you have pronounce the E or not, it is about events also at your.
Absolutely.
Well, let's put this in place in the world. You closed on a building last year
That's right, December 31st.
and the address is right on the corner of,
636.
626, honey.
it's right on the 7th and Baker.
7th and
Seventh
Baker,
Yeah,
right on
right.
the corner.
The last house in the 600
Yep.
block,
That's
7th
right.
and Baker, right on the corner.
Yep,
Yep.
that's right.
And people that drive by from now on might notice, oh, it just got a new paint job.
Yes.
Yeah, it did.
It used to be gray, now it's white.
White and green tea leaf.
And
green,
black trim.
And black trim.
Yeah, it looks really good.
It's beautiful, nice and
grand,
bright and clean.
A grand old house
Yeah.
It is.
that you have. Well, tell us what you've done with it.
We honestly didn't have to do much with it. The folks who owned it before us, the Haneys, did an astounding job of redoing it.
Yeah, remodeling.
Yeah.
Making it a beautiful showcase
Yeah.
space.
And you brought your dream into it. Tell us
We
about
did.
that, Holly.
So we brought, while we were still in the process of closing the papers, we just kind of talked to a couple of artists that we knew and got referrals of artists who came and met with us in our dining room
Yeah.
and decided that they'd be willing to take a chance to be resident artists. And by the time we opened our doors, we had 28 artists.
Yeah.
We're now up to 40. That also includes the writers that we have. Now some people come in and ask, but mostly still it's been on a referral basis. As far as the artists that we have in there, I think we only have one or two that are actually in the gallery that were walk-ins. Yeah, and we've got a stage.
We do have a stage, a small stage.
A small stage with a drum set and piano. And we have art on 2 floors of the gallery and lots of space to sit and hang out and talk about art, lots of space to enjoy the comfort and the wonderment of art.
Well, as I walked through, I was very comfortable. And I also was very attracted to what I saw. That each artist, and I was looking at the artist's name and where they're from, McMinnville, Lafayette, Yamhill, over and over, and some people that I knew.
Yeah.
And you say you do have some artists from out of state, but
We do.
But what I saw on the walls mostly was from people I could get to know if I wanted to.
The great majority are
Yeah.
That's right.
in Oregon.
Yeah.
And you do, you're collaborating with Art Harvest.
That's right. So we're one of the sponsors. We sell their buttons. And we're on the Art Harvest map.
You're a stop.
We are a stop. Well, we're a stop not as an open studio, obviously, but we are a location where you can get your buttons and, of
Okay.
course, come in and see all the other artists that are there.
Yeah.
Obviously, the open studios are the key factor for this tour. But when people are coming to town and they're looking to spend time with art, we're on that map. Yeah.
Well, let's get to know you a little bit better about, like, how did you come to McMinnville? You were probably not born here. This town has grown a lot since
Yeah.
those days. So how'd you get here?
Mick was here first.
I was here first. Yeah, I have a friend who lives in Dayton, and he this was 2003, I think.
Yeah.
He said, "Why don't you come on down to McMinnville, and I'll take you to this thing called Turkey Rama." And I said, "Turkey what?"
That
on
was
earth
your
is that?"
introduction.
That was my introduction. So I did, and I fell in love with this town. I mean, it's just Third Street, and Third Street has grown. It's even more wonderful now than it was then. But I was kind of sick of Portland, and so I came down and I started looking for a house, and I found one, and that's the end of that. Of course, 6 months after I bought the house here, I got a call from a place in Vancouver who wanted to hire me for a lot more than I was making in Tualatin.
That's right.
So I did it.
And he ended up reverse commuting.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Now you're as an artist, you're a musician.
I'm a musician.
Okay, and as an employee, you were doing what?
I was an engineer,
Oh,
manufacturing engineer.
okay. So the Renaissance man, the engineer and the art. That's
Yes.
wonderful. And you sing and you write music
I do,
and poetry.
and poetry.
And I'm hoping that you will put some of those together in a book form.
Okay, I will. I will do that.
Wonderful, wonderful. And how about you, Holly?
So Mick and I dated back in the 80s in San Francisco Bay Area, and we lost track of each other when he moved up to Portland for about 15 plus years. And one day I was actually flying from the Bay Area up to Portland and working in the area for some companies in the city. And one day I just decided that I would write a blog post and say, you know, if you're around, if you see this, if you happen to see this, I called it a message in a bottle, and I said, if you see this, please get in touch with me. I miss you, and I'd like to reconnect. And he did, and we did, and the rest
that's-
is kind of history.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And I moved to McMinnville. I was working all over the Pacific Northwest, so I could live wherever I wanted to at the time. And now I'll never leave McMinnville. This is my home.
Yeah. We
When
both
did-
love it here.
Yeah.
When was the idea for a Center for the Arts kind of born?
Well, during that time, I'll just kind of go back to during that time when I had that blog. The blog was actually a blog for this virtual music. It was a jazz club and art gallery that I had on the internet. It was a virtual reality world called Second Life. I had it for 3 years. I had international musicians and artists that would play there and present their art there and do classes and all of that kind of stuff. And I was saying to you before that it was actually a business. I had to file taxes because I made money on it. I got the
Congratulations.
bug then, thank you. I got the bug then, and I maintained a blog that I was keeping for the gallery, for the jazz club. It was called Blue Fusion, by the way. And that was when I posted the blog. When I moved up to Oregon, I kind of stopped with that. The platform was called Second Life, and I had a first life that I was now really happy with. And my heart was really, I didn't need to have the second life, so to speak. But then I had the bug, and so I talked about it a lot with Mick.
So let
And
me
then-
just ask, I'm just really curious. Second Life was a way that you could kind of you go into this virtual world and have a second life. And you were a jazz club in that world?
On that platform, that's right.
Oh, right.
So
I
people
did-
had music, people would do live performances, all kinds of stuff. I mean, we had, it was a lot. It was a full-time job, even though I had a full-time job.
When that was very new, I did tiptoe into that world and
Okay.
found it more complex than I wanted. I was having enough to do with my first life.
Exactly.
But I remember a character on The Office saying, they said, well, why are you in Second Life? Because he was just kind of living there. He says, well, I had such a good first life that I wanted another one.
Yeah, mine was the reverse. I had such a boring first life that I wanted a fun first life,
Yeah.
a fun second life. And then that
But
was
how
where I met
creative.
all of these people, a lot of
Yeah.
people. And some of those artists are actually in our gallery, and some of those artists actually still maintain as my mentor. Christine Schumacher down in the LA art scene is a mentor of mine, as well as Jeff Lipsky from Boston. So these people were people that were lifelong friends that I met through that platform, and they're still practicing very serious art and continuing to look at all of the different aspects of the art world. So.
Wow. So that you did build on that in a way, in what you're doing here. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
kind of an outgrowth. And so you got this idea before you met Mick, or to do a studio, or after?
Well, I mean, I think it was just a bug that I couldn't, that,
You came with it.
We talked about it for
Uh-huh.
at least 2 years.
oh, yeah.
And you were just totally excited about it.
Oh, yeah. I said, what are you, crazy?
Because,
But it's her dream.
yeah,
It's her dream. And if she wants to chase a dream, I'm going to go with her.
and she has such great energy, and
She
she's so
does,
creative,
yeah.
and she has such, and good ideas, and background and skill, that you thought, well, she could probably make this work.
She probably could.
So you signed on.
I did.
We'll see, right?
We'll see how it goes.
We'll see what happens.
Now, it is an event center, and so
Yeah.
let's talk about some of the events that happen there. What do you want to talk about?
Well, upcoming, we have an artist reception from 4 to 7 this Saturday night. We actually have 2 blues musicians who are going to be playing, and I don't have my notes with me. But we have 2 blues musicians who are going to be there. Mary Volm is one of our artists. She is a kiln glass.
Over there on
You
the shelves,
saw- yes,
right?
you saw those
that's-
pieces.
That was very unusual.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're beautiful. They're
Paintings
absolutely gorgeous.
paintings in glass. It was amazing.
Yeah, she also does the 2D art as well. And then we have Kate Nyland, who is a watercolorist, and so both of them will be presented. Of course, the gallery will still have all our
Featuring
other
them, yeah.
artist stuff. And as you saw when you came into the gallery, we're reworking everything. But so that's
It's a
September.
dynamic space. It happens every month. You
Yes.
just switch.
Whip it all around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. So September 7th, 4 to 7 is the artist reception. We'll have wine, music, appetizers.
Can I just want to ask, cover charge?
Yes. No cover
So
charge.
that makes it easier to come.
That's
It
right.
does.
It's free of charge. Come in.
That's
Yeah.
right. We do sell our wine.
Yeah.
But the appetizers are offered.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, how
Mick
wow.
puts
Yeah, they're
together
just-
a nice spread.
This is a scene. This is cool place to that kind of notice and just like drop in. I imagine somebody
Yeah.
put a sign out. People just
Yeah.
like, we had no idea you were coming, or
Right.
they get to know you and they're coming back because it's a good, fun place to come.
Absolutely. And we always put a sign out that says, special event or artist reception. So there's on Baker Street, there's always a sign, so everybody can always know, open mic tonight, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. So that's on the 7th. And then on the 18th, which is the third Wednesday of every month, we have the open mic night. And pretty much it's the same kind of thing. We just, we want it to be social time. And we also want people to be able to get up there and feel safe and be able to
Read their poetry.
read their poetry,
Or
sing
sing.
their songs, play their guitar.
We have, you were talking about people returning. We have quite a few people who come back every month. One of them is Charlie Price, who is a great writer and just an all-around great guy as far as I'm concerned. But he does poetry, he does music, and he writes novels. So all of that fits in perfectly. And we have lots of other people. We have people who come in and they feel really shy, or they want to sing, and Holly is so good at bringing people out of their shells. So we had a woman come in and she said, I don't know, will you sing with me? And so Holly did, and then she kind of backed out and let her finish singing the song. So it's a lot of fun. We have some really good poets and writers and singers coming in,
Yep.
guitar players,
Yep.
That's
pianists.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Encouraging the artist that way.
And then on the 21st, this is all just September, and on the 21st, we have it's the first of. We're going to be doing an artist salon where we're going to have a round table. Any artist is welcome from any medium. If you're in the art industry and you want to talk about art in the community, and just come together and have it be sort of a social environment, but also we're going to come with some, Jeff Hall, actually out of Forest Grove, is going to help to facilitate it. but also talk about some things that we see in the Valley as a community, what it means to be an artist in this community, what more can we do, what are we doing to make sure that we're sort of all in touch, and just be a support group, you know? I mean, we all just need to feel connected, and artists, you know, I mean, there's so much there for artists. I'm not saying that there isn't. If you're not an artist, there's not so much. But this is just a space that's safe for them to come and talk and get stuff out and think about.
Well, I think that sounds like an exciting place for non-artists like me to come, to feel that, and
Oh, yeah.
see that energy.
Everybody's welcome.
That you are collaborating, you are promoting, you know, the art of all these different forms. And that makes it, for somebody that's dropping in to just enjoy art, so much more vibrant, so much
Sure.
more alive.
Well, that's interesting that you say that, because like during our artist receptions, we have, you know, social time, of course, and time for people to look and spend with the artists and their art. But then we also take a break in the middle, and we actually have them get up for 10 or 15 minutes and speak about their craft, speak about what got them into it, what makes them passionate about it, so that the people who are there attending the event actually have an opportunity to learn something about the artists and who they are. 'Cause
And
we're-
there's a question and answer
Exactly.
period. So,
Get to know them personally.
yeah.
Yeah. It's been very well received. People love it. And we love it.
As I walked through, I did notice you had a bookshelf there, and one of the books that was facing out was All Hat by Steve Long.
Yeah.
I read the book, and I just interviewed him. It was fun to see that there. You have local authors on display.
Yes.
Tell me more about Charlie Price.
Charlie Price writes novels.
Yes.
He sings, he writes songs, and he writes
Plays the
great
guitar.
poetry.
And he comes to, and is he the one with the novella?
Yes, he's the
Yes.
one who's writing
Tell us
the
about
novella. He started writing it, and he came in, and on one of our opens 2 months ago, I guess he came in, and he read the first bit that he'd written, and then kind of left us hanging.
And himself is hanging. I mean, it hasn't been
know.
finished yet.
Yeah, so the following month he came in, and he said, I have the next part. And so we all sat there wrapped, you know, waiting to hear this.
And when's part number 3 happening, on the 18th?
Well,
hope
we
so.
don't
But
know.
He may not be ready by the 18th.
He might not be ready.
He just
He'll
comes
have
on
to.
his own.
Yeah.
He might have writer's
It's a
block.
surprise.
this
That's
month.
right. You never know.
That's pretty exciting.
It
Yeah.
is. He's a great poet, too.
Yeah.
All of our writers are really good. We have, 4 or 5 now? Something like that.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep track of all this stuff.
Let's go to some of the pictures you brought.
Okay.
You have a bunch of wonderful slides. We'll get to know you a little bit through this. Now, that's not your logo.
And no, it's not our logo. It's just, it's a series. It's called a cloud, a word cloud, or a word doodle. Some people may know of.
Oh,
And
the more frequently the word comes up, the bigger it is.
Exactly. And it really is just sort of the words that represent what Mecca is.
Yeah.
And it's not a logo. It's just.
Now, in your tagline is a place for sight, sound, and emotion. I saw emotion was rather large in that.
That's right.
Tell us about what the emotion piece is. It's a space for.
So think about when you're looking at a piece of art, everyone sees things differently, right? And the artist has their own image. You look at it, especially when you're dealing with abstract, right? When you're dealing with, and you can see that we have a lot of abstract pieces in our gallery. And, you know, when you look at a piece, it evokes some kind of emotion in you. When you listen to music, some kind of emotion is drawn. When you hear poetry,
Read a book.
read a book,
Yeah.
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 It's when you converse with another person, it's emotion.
Yeah.
It's very important to have that tied to it, the heart tied to it, the brain, the heart, the visual, all of that, and what you hear. So
Okay.
it's something that I've always felt an affinity to, the tagline.
Very good. I enjoy it. What's next here?
Oh, right, so we're at the corner of 7th and Baker. I think
okay.
we, Yeah, we talked about
There's
that.
the white shot.
There's the building before it's been painted. So
Mm-hmm.
can't wait. You can check out our Facebook page to see the updates.
So let's see, Mecca, third Wednesday's monthly open mic, where art meets music, prose combines with poetry, and collaborative art comes to life. All right, so I think we've got people pretty excited about that.
This
Open
is
mic, wine tasting. Now tell us about wine tasting.
so we are partnering with wineries to have their wine in at Mecca. We've worked with Bitt and Bertman. We have our OLCC, obviously.
Oh.
Yes, so we are allowed to, allowed to pour, and I'm licensed to pour. Right now, we're working with Côte de Terre and with Walnut City Wineworks down on
Yeah,
down on
local.
19th and Evans, yeah.
Yeah.
And so we just have been rotating through some wineries. We hope to be doing more collaboration with the wineries because they have great spaces. We have great spaces. We have events. We have people who love to drink. What goes better with art than wine?
Yes.
That kind of thing. So that's the
Okay.
wine tasting stuff.
All right, what's
Yeah.
next? You've been to Mecca. Oh, your days open on Thursday through Sunday. Thursday,
right.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 11 to 5 there.
That's right.
Okay.
And we probably, I believe, starting the end of September, we will add Wednesdays
Okay.
as well. Just wine,
Beautiful,
art.
nice shot.
So this photograph is a picture of one of our events that we had at Mecca. Right now we're working with the city of McMinnville. With Visit McMinnville we are on their list of places to have small intimate events. So if you think about how beautiful gallery space is, and we have lots of seating and we can fit up to about 45 people in the gallery. That's in chairs. So if you're not in chairs, then it gives you an opportunity, you can have more people. This picture here is actually showing that we had a private class that was done here by one of our healers in town, Lisa Poole. This class was a wonderful class that she did. It was called the Art of Self-Discovery. And so we had lots of women who came in, and Lisa taught the class for a few. It's just a nice, non-conventional space to feel comfortable and safe and be able to have people come together and be educated or have fun. And this was a concert that we had there. So you can see
Oh, who's
the band
playing?
is up at the front. That is the Western Wheelers.
Western Flyers.
Western Flyers, sorry. Thank you, honey. The Western
Oh.
Flyers.
And so the area where the band was is where the picture's taken from, and then up the stairs
Right.
is more of the gallery, and then straight ahead, there you go upstairs to the second floor.
Right,
And-
yeah, so there's the stage area.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So that's the stage area when you first come in, and then it goes up to the second floor, or the first floor, technically. I mean, you go from the display floor up to the main floor, and then there's a whole other floor upstairs that's of art. So really, it's
A
two
wonderful layout.
floors of art,
Yeah,
plus a stage.
yeah. And there's the stage.
Yep.
Now here, I recognize a story in this shot,
You do.
Don't you?
and that's the Mecca Australis.
Mecca Australis.
Australis,
Right.
thank you, that landed on your windshield
The
That's
land on
right.
the windshield.
out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
And that artist actually is Zoe Poster.
Yeah.
And she actually, the artist that made the moth for us, we sent her photos of the moth because I had captured a picture of the moth.
Because we didn't think anyone would believe us. This
Right,
moth.
exactly. And so she drew it. She's also an artist in our gallery. She's one of the ones who's not from Oregon.
She's from Vermont.
Yeah. Yeah, she's from Vermont. So, and there we are.
All right. Well, were you, as a young child, you were engaging, I would imagine. because you've grown up to be a very engaging adult. Do you have roots that in I won't say marketing. Usually children are into marketing, but
I have roots in art. My
Uh-huh.
father put an ad in the newspaper
Ah.
looking for a folk singers, and my mother answered the ad, and then they had 4 kids together. So I'm the oldest of the 4. My brother is actually, my brother is also in the arts. The brother that's just next beyond me. I would consider my littlest brother in the arts too because of all of the graphic design work that he does. So yeah, we've got some art background for sure.
and what are your mediums?
So I haven't done anything since I have the gallery, obviously, because I've had my hands full. But and they always say artists who open a business don't get to do their art anymore. This is my art though, and this
Yes.
fulfills my creative aspect. But I do acrylics, I do oils, watercolors, pencil, drawings. Those are the areas where I love. And someone asked me, have you ever sold any of your art? And I said, no, but it is on my art is on walls all across this country. So
It's appreciated.
it's
Yeah,
appreciated.
Whether it was bought or not.
That's right. That's right.
So what was a moment that you maybe thought, oh, this is hard? When did it get dark for a while? Did you ever have kind of a low point that you had to pull through?
We've only been open for a little bit, but
Yeah.
the money,
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's always the money.
Yeah.
finance.
It's the buyer's remorse thing.
Uh-huh.
You take that new car off the lot and you go, oh my God, what have I done?
Oh, with buying
But-
the building.
Sure, but
It's a wonderful spot.
It
mean,
is.
The
It is.
The exposure
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
terrific.
yeah. So I don't think we've had a lot of remorse.
No, not remorse,
Yeah.
but
Just a trial problem you had to solve.
the trial problem is money. No, I mean the reality is it's kind of funny when you think about it. I put it out there that we wanted to be in the Oregonian, and we pitched to the Oregonian a story about the emerging scene in McMinnville,
Yeah.
art scene in McMinnville, because it wasn't just about Mecca. It was about the fact that we are a place to contend. McMinnville, the city of
Yeah,
McMinnville, is a
definitely.
place to contend with as far as art goes. We
Yes.
have really wonderful art here, outside of Mecca. 10 Oaks, the Currents Gallery, Eagle's Nest. I mean, you can name Maryland Altifer. We've got beautiful places. We've got a glass place. I can't remember your name. I'm sorry. But there are beautiful, beautiful galleries here in this town, and you can just stroll anywhere and just bump into all of the public art that's just, this city cares about art,
Yeah.
right? And so, okay, so I said, I want to be in the Oregonian. I got us in the Oregonian. I got us some accolades just doing that. We were the
Well,
center
and
page.
we also told him about other galleries.
Exactly.
So he visited 10 Oaks.
Yeah. 10 Oaks and Lawrence Gallery.
Lawrence Gallery.
Oh, I forgot Lawrence Gallery.
Yeah.
And Mason Riviera. And then we could go out to Newburgh too and talk about,
All the stuff that's
all
going
the
on
stuff
there.
that's going
Yeah.
out there, art elements out there, right? But anyway, in McMinnville. So, and then I said, after that, I said, okay, my next lofty goal is I want to be on TV and I want to be on NPR.
And you called.
I swear.
This is no NPR, but
I
it's
know,
a
but
step,
it was
right?
awesome. I was like, okay, all you have to do is just ask for it and it'll
Yeah.
come.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I think things are going well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the energy, I go in there and I see it's torn up, like I had peeked in the windows a few times and seen it very different. And today it's in process and I can't wait to go back and see what you create. And you do this monthly, so that is a
Monthly.
very artistic endeavor
Yeah,
where you recreate the space and have a new concept and then invite people in.
that's right. And I should say that our gallery assistant, Karen Kirkpatrick, she is amazing.
She is.
And
You're quite a team.
yeah, we are a really great team, and she's learning the eye for display as well, and I think she's liking it. I think she's really enjoying it.
Well, good people.
So-
Karen?
Kieran.
Kieran. All right. Well, we should come in and see you, Holly, Mick, and Kieran at Mecca on the 7th and Baker.
That would be great.
That would be wonderful.
Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.